So, good evening. I hope that everybody's enjoying themselves so far. You know, we're feeling good about this evening. We're feeling good about having you in the refurbished Catherine Forbes Clark Athletic and Convocation Center. We're showing off tonight. So I hope you're enjoying it. We're going to get our program started with our student Anna Barr, who is going to sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you so much, Anna. Can we get another round of applause for Anna? I'm good.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
All right. My name is Jose Mason. Tonight I have the honor and pleasure of serving as your MC for the 11th Annual Athletics Hall of Fame banquet here at UMass Boston. A big round of applause to all of you for being here on this beautiful night. And I want to echo the words of our good friend Charlie Titus. Please, another big round of applause for our singer Anna Barr. Anna, come over here. Yes. Take a bow, please. Anna Barr, ladies and gentlemen.
Anna.
Thank you, Anna. So I want to welcome all the inductees and our guests. And at this moment, I hope that the inductees have come into the gymnasium because we are ready to rock and ready to roll with our program for this evening. And as we do so, Charlie Titus will be saying a few words, recognizing all of our invited guests and VIPs. But ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome our inductees as they come into the gymnasium area and into the seats. The inductees for the 2013 Hall of Fame. The 11th Annual Athletics Hall of Fame banquet, ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome once again Charlie Titus. Charlie.
Thank you, Jose, and good evening again, and welcome to the 11th Annual Induction Ceremony for the UMass Boston Athletics Hall of Fame. As I said earlier, we're showing off tonight. Last year, this facility was closed. It was undergoing an extensive rehab. We have a beautiful new wood floor under this magnificent carpeting. We got the carpeting because when we do events like this and you come in, we want you to feel like you're at home, okay? All the lighting in the gym is new. We have it on the mood lighting right now. But during the day or for games, we brighten it up a little bit. We have new curtains, new sound, new lights, new curtains, new floor, and the seats you're sitting in are all brand new. So thanks to the efforts of a number of people at this institution, including our chancellor, who made the decision to go for it, we are very proud of our new Clark Athletic, Recreation, and Convocation Center. Now I got to tell you, thank you. Tell you a little bit about the title. One of the things that we felt was important is that we become more interactive on the campus, and the campus more interactive with athletics and bringing people to this side of campus. There are a number of large events that we don't have until now a venue that could accommodate them. So for example, in a few weeks, we're going to have open house for the university here in the Clark Athletic and Convocation Center. And for the first time ever, the chancellor will be able to address all of the visitors at open house at one time in the same place. I was asked why we didn't have convocation in here last year, since it's a convocation center, but I'm sure that will happen soon. So I'm delighted to see all of you this evening, and as I watch you reconnect with colleagues, teammates, and friends, it really brings me joy. Part of what this is about is to bring you back home, to allow you the opportunity to see people that you don't get to see often, maybe. To also take a little time to celebrate the achievements that you made while you were students at the university, at Boston State, to relive those glory days. I know, I think often about my college days as a college athlete, and now, when I was in college, I tell people now I averaged about 32 points a game and about 42 rebounds, and those stories grow and grow and grow. So this is that opportunity to do that. I'm thankful that you're all here this evening to celebrate with us. I hope you were able to take some time during the reception outside to view a number of our new displays that we've added in the lobby. The interactive Hall of Fame display, the Champions Wall, the Wall of All-Americans. These displays were made possible through generous support from alum, from Hall of Fame members, as many of you who are here tonight who purchased tickets to our raffle last year for the trip to Ireland that was so generously donated to us by alum and Hall of Famer Dick Leahy. The raffle committee worked hard on that. That raffle committee was led, and it included a number of Hall of Famers and alums. It was led by Jim Collins. With members of that raffle committee who are here, please stand up and be recognized. Brian, that group, please. We got some shy folk in here, Jimmy. We're grateful for the kind support that you and others are providing, as it makes such a significant difference in a team's motivation, a team's ability to compete, and the quality of each student-athlete's experience while they're here at the university. That so many of our teams have done so well over the years is a tribute to our student-athletes and to all of those who have helped them to prevail. And I include all of you in that description. Our inductees this evening include 6 individuals and 1 team. The background on tonight's inductees are in the programs that you were handed when you came in the door tonight, along with information on past inductees. Tonight's class of 2013 joins a growing community. By the time we come to the end of our program later this evening, the UMass Boston, Boston State Hall of Fame will consist of 87 individuals and 13 teams. So join me in welcoming Melissa, Nicholas, Craig, Daniel, Bruce, and Kathleen and the 1990 men's tennis team. You're about to be inducted into a very distinguished and prestigious group, and we're proud to have you. You know, I am now in my 38th year as an athletic professional and an administrator here at UMass Boston. Doesn't seem like that amount of time, and I've been supported through all those years by my lovely wife, who's allowed me to spend quite a bit of time on this campus. And I wanted to introduce you to her, and I don't even see her, I think.
She's here.
Oh! We have a seat for you down here. Please stand up, Paula Titus. After 38 years, I continue to feel the pride and energy of being associated with all of the talented and dedicated individuals who have participated and assisted in helping us to achieve such high standards and success over the years. I'm extremely motivated by the current group of colleagues who work so hard every day to assure that our division is successful in providing high-quality athletic and recreational services to this community. And I'm going to ask, I don't want to leave anybody out, but please, all the members of our division who are here tonight, please stand and be recognized. Athletic staff, don't be shy, I'll call you out. Please stand. Okay, who did we miss? We have a terrific team of young professionals who work so hard to make sure that we continue to fulfill your legacy. And so that's really important to us. What you accomplished while you were here, I'm talking about our new inductees as well as our Hall of Famers who are here. And please, why don't we have all of our Hall of Famers stand, please, and be recognized. Everybody who's currently in the Hall of Fame, please stand. Big round of applause. It's your legacy that we are working hard to fulfill every day, to enhance, and to make sure that when we leave that legacy strong. With a solid foundation of success in place, the Division of Athletics and Recreation, Special Programs and Projects is poised to enter a strikingly new and even more sustaining dimension. By the fall of 2015, our campus will have residence halls, which will have significant implications for our intercollegiate programs, for our intramural and recreation programs. This January 7th, our men's ice hockey team will be taking on Salem State at Fenway Park in the annual Frozen Fenway Hockey Extravaganza. Tickets go on sale in November, and we're going to get them to you. And finally, Chancellor, I'm saying finally, on June 15th, 2014, we will break ground on a new baseball facility. Tonight, here at our Hall of Fame ceremony, we have a chance to celebrate, reflect, and reaffirm what has made our growth and success possible. So we have a full evening for you tonight. Our Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Marceau, has told me that I need to be brief because he expects to have a rhythm going to this ceremony tonight that will make everybody happy and get you home in time to enjoy the rest of your evening, whatever that may mean. Before I turn it back to Jose, though, I am honored to introduce our distinguished Chancellor. Dr. J. Keith Motley became UMass Boston's 8th Chancellor in June of 2007, and he was formally inaugurated on November 7th, 2007, right here in the Clark Athletic Center. So I'm sure most of you are familiar with Dr. Motley's many achievements in the areas of scholarship, educational leadership, and community service. Well, we all know he cares deeply about students and has earned their gratitude. Now, for those of you who don't know, I want you to know. Our Chancellor was a star student athlete, and in fact, was Jim Calhoun's first Division I basketball recruit at Northeastern University. He led As a student athlete, he led that institution's very successful transition from Division II to Division I. He also spent 20 years coaching basketball at that other school over there as an assistant and then as an associate head coach. He worked very closely with the legendary and Hall of Fame coach Jim Calhoun. And I can say from personal experience that I know of no one who has ever been more of a loyal and effective advocate for the importance of athletics and recreation at UMass Boston. And as I said, I've been here for 38 years. So please join me in welcoming our chancellor, the coach from that other school, Dr. J. Keith Motley.
So, good evening, everybody. I am just so honored to be here with you tonight. I'm so moved to walk into a building and feel the buzz that I felt as I came in and I saw all of those Hall of Famers doing what I wish I could do at that other place. Walk into a building, press a button, and look at myself. And see all of those accomplishments, and it's just magnificent to walk into this Clark Athletic Recreation and Convocation Center and see the transformation. But it doesn't happen all by itself. It happens because of you. It happens because of great leadership, like Charlie and all of the staff that work here so diligently. It happens because you left a legacy. It happens because you left a legacy of excellence here that extended itself from Huntington Avenue, came across Morrissey Boulevard, and now finds itself sitting out here in Dorchester Bay. And we're so grateful for that. If you didn't notice earlier, there were lots of student athletes here, marveling at you, looking because one day they'll become you. I remember being them and saying, I know I'm not going to turn into, I used to be 6'7" guy who had an afro this big, who now has a receding hairline wearing a suit. I won't be that guy. And one day it happens. But you all know this experience is something that you would never want to give back. It's an unbelievable experience. And those of you that have had the honor to serve and be on that field or court or track or whatever, or on that ice, know what I'm talking about. So thank you, Charlie, and thank you to all that have been so important to making this event happen tonight. Every fun night, such as this one, is an amazing new opportunity for this university. We're so grateful to have someone who knows how to have fun and someone who we're honored always to have on our campus, Jose Masso, as the person who's going to move this along tonight to make sure that we have a wonderful event and a fulfilling event. Thank you, Jose, for always being here, man. We're so grateful to you.
Thank you.
I'm also so grateful to our poet laureate and someone who is an outstanding faculty member here at this university who demonstrates every day what's so special about this place. Professor Duncan Nelson, someone who's given his soul to this institution over and over and over and over again, demonstrates the quality that we have here in both our faculty and our students. He wrote one of his famous odes. You're going to hear from him later. And we're so grateful to our student. Having Anna Barr here again, because she does it for us upon request, to sing our national anthem is a wonderful thing. A great way to start this night, a great way to start this ceremony with the kind of protocol that this event is deserving of. I want to offer my sincere congratulations to this class of 2013 Hall of Fame. All of you inductees, Melissa Belmonte, Nicholas Conway, represented tonight by his grandfather, I love that, Albert Savastano, Craig Cullen, Daniel Hayes, Bruce Lahane, Catherine Wall, and the members of the 1990 men's tennis team. whether you played for Boston State College or this university, University of Massachusetts, Boston, your legacy lives on in our athletic programs, and we're so grateful for that. So every time student athletes walk in this building, they won't have to ask who you were. They can push a button. They can look on the wall and become just so enamored with all of your exploits and understand what it's all about here. Congratulations as well to the winners of this year's Shining Beacon Award. They all know that they won these awards this year, right? Sometimes, oh, they don't? Okay, well, I won't say anything. But I will say to my dear friend, Walter Prince, recipient of our Distinguished Alumnus Award, welcome. Thank you for being a model. Thank you for demonstrating excellence all of the time. And we're so grateful to see you. This is an exciting time for this university. And as you rode around here, I hope you got into a traffic jam. I hope you were lost. I hope you got mud on your shoes. I hope you were a little frustrated, because it means that we're making so much progress in righting some wrongs that happened out here just a short time ago. About 40 years ago, someone thought that they were going to wipe away our dreams, but they didn't know that you would show up in 2013, ready to push us to unbelievable limits, ready and poised with this campus to grow into the university that you all know that we were, are, and are going to be. And so as you rode around here today and you see progress, we didn't just want it to be on the periphery of the campus. We wanted you to come into this Clark Athletic and Recreation and Convocation Center and say, wow, they haven't forgot that the soul of these institutions is in the classroom, but it's also part of the soul is in those athletes that toil and represent this university every day, because they go on from here to do exceptional things in their lives because of the preparation by great coaches, great teammates, great professors, and through having a wonderful experience. So we couldn't stop on the roadways and not extend it to this wonderful building. We are in the midst of change, but we don't want to forget those traditions. We're building a tradition and we're not resting upon one, but we don't want to say that the past doesn't matter. And this is why we honor you tonight. You see the evidence of that in every room. You see the evidence of that in this very room we stand in. We reinvented this place, but we did not reinvent its soul. As Charlie said, we finally have a date for our baseball complex. But what he didn't say is that there's so many more things in the cooker for our athletic programs, and we're so grateful for that. The success that we've achieved as our university expands and improves would have been impossible without the solid foundation of our wonderful staff and administrators. Many of them are here tonight. This division is an essential part of that. I don't let them forget that. You don't let them forget it either. You demand excellence on and off the court. You demand excellence so that when you walk in this building, you don't say, wow, because you can't believe it's here. You say, wow, because we've taken it to another level. And we're so grateful for that. So grateful to have our new development director, not so new our external development director, someone who doesn't need much of an introduction here, Karen Veras. Someone who's come and given his soul to this institution, along with Adara Jones. It's getting better and better and better. And of course, the best testaments, as I mentioned, to positive change we are making are our students. Our students designed that beacon that you saw when you walked in this building tonight. When they came to my office and said they wanted to put up a beacon, I was kind of leery about that, because I thought about the beacon that I might put out there. And it would have been a sight to see. But when I walked and I saw what they designed, it has become a landmark on this camp. People want to see it. So it gets better and better and better. So it's a great time to be a beacon. We owe the positive momentum to the leadership that we have in athletics, to our outstanding student athletes, and to all of you, because you believe in us, you support us, you stand up with us. We're so great, and you push us. I love the fact that you push us, and we continue to need and are grateful for your support. So I want to thank you again for being here tonight as we fulfill our tradition of honoring our exceptional alumni and our supporters. And so, Charlie, we have something we need to do, or is this? Is Jose coming back up here?
No, we're not going to let Jose.
Oh, then we're not going to let you up here, man. We're putting a squeeze on you.
Go. So, we're going to confer the Distinguished Alumnus Award now. This award is conferred by the university and the Department of Athletics to honor a graduate of UMass Boston who has attained a high degree of distinction in his or her career and has compiled a record of great service to the community. The recipient is a person who enriches the world and brings honor to self, family, and to UMass Boston. A person who has displayed a commitment to nurturing the human potential and is committed to the goals of diversity and fairness. Please join me in expressing our deep appreciation for the distinguished alumnus recipients. Chancellor, you want to?
So I am honored tonight in presenting the Distinguished Alumni Award to Walter Prince, Boston State College class of 1971. Lawyer, educator, former assistant United States attorney for the District of Massachusetts. Impressive legal career, including the management and litigation of more than 60 employment cases on behalf of some of the largest employers in our state. More importantly, it included the MBTA, which brings lots of students over here every day to our campus. Served as general counsel for 3 years and nationwide, including many Fortune 500 companies. In addition to your brilliant legal mind, you also have a heart for giving back. You've served as president for the Massachusetts Black Lawyers Association, vice president of the Massachusetts chapter of the National Conference of Black Lawyers, and currently you serve as vice president of the Ford Forum. You have been recognized time and time again for your distinguished career. And tonight, it is the University of Massachusetts Boston's turn to honor you as a star alum. Walter Prince, congratulations. You are 2013's Distinguished Alumni Award winner. And if you didn't notice, the chancellor was wise enough not to even attempt to take that award out of that box. This award is, could you take it out yourself so we can see it? But this thing is like crystal or something. And I wasn't going to be the one to drop that. That is beautiful, man. Congratulations to you. You got it. Oh, yes. Microphone is yours.
Mr. Chancellor, thank you very much. I am honored to receive this award. It's interesting, when I was a student, a lifetime ago now, I never, ever, ever thought that anyone would consider me a distinguished alum. All I ever did was work hard, studied hard, and I kept putting one foot in front of the next, trying to achieve my goal. And that journey has taken me on a wonderful adventure, and it's brought me here to this podium this evening. and I hope there are more adventures ahead. And so I'd like to say to some of the students that are here tonight, do the same thing. Work hard, do the very best you can, keep pursuing your goal, and enjoy the adventure that you're on, and who knows where your path may take you. You may someday find yourself standing right here at this very podium, receiving this same award. All things are possible. Once again, I'm humbled by this, and I thank you very much for the award. Thank you.
That was perfect, man.
Excellent.
That was perfect. They want to get a picture.
We're going to jump right into that.
Get in the picture, get in the picture.
Okay, so Chancellor, I'm going to take the liberty of breaking our schedule a little bit here. Where's
Oh, man, you breaking the schedule
Garen?
already.
I'm sorry, Garen.
Jose, man, you got to get control of this.
So, Walter, I also want you to know that you join a very distinguished group. So the previous award winners have been people like Peter Belandi, Dick Leahy, Richard Campbell, and Mayor Tom Menino. Great group. Another hand for Walter Prince, please. Okay, so we're now going to confer the Shining Beacon Award. This is an internal award given to a member of the university community who does not work in the Department of Athletics, but has made major contributions to the success of student athletes and has moved us closer to achieving the mission of athletics on this campus. We give this award to show our great appreciation for the continuing efforts and support of the many people on the campus who help to further the causes of athletics and recreation. Our first award recipient began her career at UMass Boston in 2003 as an administrative assistant with the then Office of Special Events and Communication. It did not take long for her to move into the role of Director of Special Events in that office, and now to management and oversight of all the Chancellor's events on campus, including Convocation, Commencement, the Gala, Ideas Boston, and most recently, the Mayoral Debates. Now, I feel fortunate that we have the services of this young lady and her staff. I know she's on the Chancellor's staff.
Yeah, trying to figure this one out myself, Jose.
She has been instrumental in helping us with our Hall of Fame, our golf tournament. When we do our parents' dinner in Florida, she's been right there pushing and helping us make that happen. So, her support for what we do in athletics has been immeasurable. As you can imagine, the level of efficiency and attention to detail required to successfully execute these events are extraordinary. Thanks to Allie's ability to see every detail, large and small, the quality of the events that take place on this campus are unparalleled. Her assistance and expertise working with the events hosted by athletics are no different. No event is too large or too small. She takes the same approach with each one, invests her time in the planning process to understand what you are looking for, aligns resources, calmly addresses potential challenges, and I say calmly, I mean calmly, and follows through with the final product. And she does it all with her modest and unassuming style. Allie not only demonstrates an exceptional depth of knowledge, she is a person who exhibits great character, sincerity, and a true understanding of everything this campus and community represents. We are grateful for all the wonderful work that she has accomplished, and we are truly appreciative of all she has contributed to the Division of Athletics and the university community. It's with gratitude and appreciation that I ask the Chancellor to present the 2013 Shining Beacon Award to Allison Duffy.
It is, and I'm leaving it right there, too. Come on in the middle, come on in the middle.
Thank you. Want to do this? I think I will.
Watch,
I know, I
watch
wanna
which
follow,
way it
yeah,
is.
be really careful. Like this? Thanks, Eric. Thank you. Thank you guys very much.
You know you're welcome.
So this year, for the first time, we're actually giving out 2 of these, and you'll see why as I read our second award recipient, who joined the university as Assistant Director of Special Events in 2007, after working as Director of Special Events and Community Affairs at State Street Corporation. Diane has been an integral part of planning and executing the Hall of Fame for the last several years. She's been a committed member of the team, organizing high-level internal and external events, and has been a primary connection to essential relationships with external vendors and business partners. She's always willing to lend her expertise when asked to help with making initial contacts, negotiating contracts, and helping with the big picture. She's a person you can rely on to be welcoming and organized, open to give her opinion and share her ideals for maximizing events.
Give her opinion.
She has a can-do and will-do attitude and is dedicated to the work of this university. Excuse me. We are grateful for all she has done to support our events and our division. This year's second Shining Beacon Award is presented to Allie's co-worker and colleague, Diane Smith.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, you hold that, hold the bottom though, down there. Yep.
So, Chancellor, I'd like to invite our great poet laureate, Duncan Nelson, to come up.
Thank you, Charlie.
This is Duncan's ode to the class of 2013.
Yeah, it is. I'm so delighted to be here. I just want to say I taught at Harvard and then at MIT, and then I came here. And this is it. This is home. This is global education, and I'm so proud to be here. So this is the Hall of Fame ode, and so it begins with a little prologue, but then I want to make sure I see who I'm speaking to. I'll be a wandering minstrel. Is this all right here? For a while. This evening pray, let me prolong as your poet laureate, singing a song, you see I rhyme, of praise in which I shall rehearse everyone honored here in verse. Now the bar has been shut down. Let's engage in sober reflection this 11th of October. Very good rhyme. Upon this splendid 11th annual Hall of Fame induction, the manual of the evening should say, look around this room, letting your eyes become zoom lenses and come into sharp focus on the expialidocious group of honorees assembled, before whom, in fear of doom, trembled all Division III teams, in vain seeking to tame the flame of the UMB beacon, or alike in vain making bold to hold back the attack of the green and gold. First, where is Craig Cullen? Hooray! Where? Aha. First, let's snap a shot of Craig Cullen, reminiscent of Bobby Hull in the way he was great both ways, a pillar of strength when he served as penalty killer. And also knowing how to score points as a junior, 24, and as a senior, 38. A guy who was not only great for the way his stick played a vital role in our bringing home the Codfish Bowl twice, but twice as much. Let's cheer him as Scholar Athlete of the Year, along with being Most Valuable Player, again twice. He's right there. So let's give him drum rolls for both scoring and meeting his many goes to Craig. Dan Hayes. I was sitting right beside him. Oh, God, I didn't realize I was with the iron. Hey, now we single out a guy who plays lax to the max, this midi, Dan Hayes. As a scorer, the Warriors' fourth all-time. And as a defender, so few could get by him that he was named along with the best to the all-New England East-West All-Star game. And after his playing days, he turned coach and then earned an MA. So Dan, congratulations to you. Bruce Lahane. Those legs. Hey, once you've let loose in the fast lane a runner the likes of Bruce Lahane, the rest might as well pull off to the side. At graduation, he could take pride in having earned 12 letters. And he went on to train such Olympic go-getters as Rosemary Ryan and Kathy O'Brien. And his men's cross-country team, when vying in the NCAAs, earned top 10 places, while his women's team was so off to the races that his fine men's record, his women's, outstrips with 15 of 19 championships. And as further sign of his succeeding, he's a Master of Arts in language and reading. Congratulations to Walter. Oh, great. Melissa Belmonte. Where is she? 6 points in one game, 4 goals in another. Melissa Belmonte was able to smother, along with Andrea Charletta, many a team. She was able to set a all-time record of assists, 81, and rank high on the lists of hat tricks and multi-point games. Small wonder that the Hall of Fame's recognizing her power play goals and her multiple game-winning roles by her induction into the Hall. Melissa, your wrist shot's phenomenal. It's a pretty good run. Blessings. Nick Conway. I have 20 grandchildren. How many of you got? All right, you and I are up there. The first thing to say about Nick Conway is that he threw K after K after K. In a single season, the number he blew away was no less than 82. And in terms of career, he shut the door on a whopping 234. Entering freshman year with Coach Iga Brote, working together, these two wrote a new record of Little Ace tournament showings, Nick winning fame with his flame throwings. He was Little East Pitcher of the Year, his guile and velocity striking fear, all up and down the other team's lineup. The Hall of Fame is the right place to wind up for a pitcher who in his league was as stellar as was back in the day Rapid Robert Feller. Ever heard of him? Catherine Wall. Of women's three-sporters, the greatest of all in UMB's history is Catherine Wall. Whether hockey rink or soccer pitch or softball field, no matter which, program her scorecard you'd get as a handout, she'd be consistently a standout. 3 times an all-star, and on pitch and on diamond, I've never encountered in all my rhyming a wall so difficult to scale. In the sense of my ode would require a tale so tall it would boggle imagination. In softball alone, a constellation of high rankings in extra base hits, stolen bases, and runs scored. And it's a fact that she scored 2 shorthanded goals in one game. And a fact that all the roles she's played have kept our beacon's flame shining bright in game after game after game. Imagine 4 years and of 3 stellar seasons to honor her, even more great reasons, such as christening her first coaching endeavor with our first Little East soccer title ever. To Catherine. Now, tennis. I'm a tennis player. Before I get to, where is he? It's all of them. Where is all of them? All the team. Ah, there they are. You're my men, net men. Before I get to my next, let me have it known that I once beat Dick Savitt, a singles champ at Wimbledon in the New England Father and Son, which means I'll speak with particular relish as I now go on to embellish the luster of our first Little East crown in tennis. Loudly I'll sing the renown of Coach Matthew Bradley, who earns our high praise along with Jeff Kearns, Matt Ash, Tom Esper, David Booley, Kevin Counter, Oscar Jara, who coolly went 12-0 in doubles, and others followed his lead like Chris Lyons and Dan Pollard, Stephen Krause, Phil Robbins, and Robert Wright, and Tom Savoy, whose out-of-sight 16-0 record at number 2 indicates well the damage this crew match after match was able to do back in 1990. Their dominance earns for all of them Hall of Fame prominence. Congratulations to all of you. Walter Prince, oh my. To a prince among men, we now accord our Alumnus of the Year award. Walter B. Prince is his full name. And as Walter, you enter the Hall of Fame, your presence here adds to our luster. Through the dower of all the power you muster. As general counsel for the MBTA, you led a 24 lawyer array as commander-in-chief of litigation, covering everything in relation to real estate, contracts, development, personnel, the environment, and were sent for by 2 governors to provide in their nominating of judges your wide and deep understanding, freely ranging from ethics to the ever-changing contours of trusts and their tax exemptions in all their hornswaggling, mind-boggling dimensions. And rightly, there has been celebration of your work against discrimination as counsel for the MCAD. So no one we think of could be more fittingly honored as our alumnus. Nor let me forget the service you've done us as in major drug prosecutions, in all that you've done, discovering solutions that for 20 years you've been passing along to your students at Boston College. My song celebrates an overseer, literally without peer, at BC and the Boston Chamber of Commerce in consideration of feats enormous. 'Tis fitting indeed we inscribe your name atop the high wall of our Hall of Fame. To Walter. Brilliant. Where are the gals? Diane and I. And now the mystery we've all been seeking to solve. Who gets the shining beacon? It's really no mystery at all. Such events as these don't spring from thin air, and hence, as we look for our version of Wizards of Oz, 2 names come up at once because Allie Duffy and Diane Smith have 24/7 more to do with these events than anyone else on the planet. From the get-go, they figured out how to man it, to organize it down to the last detail of how food gets passed and when and from whom I would get my lavalier mic. No one, I'll bet, has more of their Wellingtonian sense of how to win Waterloo over the French, or has more the smarts of Ulysses S. Grant to know what can be done and what can't in a way that move things on the floor a la Gettysburg, so that, as in war, when hopes for how things will go grow thinner, these gals come to the rescue, and a dinner like this one becomes at the wave of their wand an event whose glories extend beyond all expectations. These are the queens who rule what goes on from behind the scenes. But tonight, they've been brought front and center and given a mighty cheer as they enter the limelight, beacons shining bright. Diane and Allie, you light up the night by the way you've laid the frosting on the cake athletes make here at UMass Boston. All right, to Allie and Diane, thank you all, thank you all. Don't give you a hug.
Our poet laureate, Duncan. Duncan, don't go away. Come here a second. Duncan Nelson, ladies and gentlemen, come on stage.
Oh, thank you all.
Duncan,
You all are
come
great.
over
You're
here.
my heroes. Thanks.
Come on
sir.
stage.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
This man is an artist in every definition of the name. Tonight, he sports a lid. Some would call it a Panama
The
hat.
hat man.
He's done an ode to the athletes. This pork pie hat is an ode to a great jazz performer by the name of Lester Young.
Yes, sir.
And they say a tip of the hat in sports and baseball in particular, but for me, I take my hat off in your honor.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. And mine is off to all of you. You're the best. Thanks. Thanks. You thanks, Charlie. Thanks.
Duncan Nelson. Thank you, Duncan. Thank you, Vice Chancellor and Chancellor. So, a quick housekeeping. I noticed there's a Nissan, a gray one, license plate FP, which I guess is Fenway Park, 0044, a gray one. The lights are on. I hope it's none of you, but they were on. None of you? Gray, Nissan, all right, we're good? A Nissan? Good, all right. So, how about the food tonight? Wasn't that great? Big round of applause to all the vendors. Provided some great meals for us. Also to the music by the Dale Freeman, Dr. Higgs Jazz Duo. Dale Freeman on the guitar and Dr. Higgs on the piano. Some great music. Big round of applause for them as well. Head coach Michael Bradley in the 1990 men's tennis team, you have heard from Duncan, represent the very best. I'm going to ask these members of the team and the coach to line up here because this was the first UMass Boston tennis team to ever win a Little East Conference championship. All of the members of the historic squad were named to the UMass Boston Athletics Hall of Fame class this year under the guidance of head coach Michael Bradley. The Beacons stood as the only team with a conference championship up until 2006. In their championship year, UMass Boston finished with an overall record of 11-1, with the only loss coming at the hands of Division II Stonehill College. In the championship match, the Beacons were absolutely dominant, winning at number 2, 3, 5, and 6 singles, and as well as sweeping all 3 doubles matches. And during the 1990 campaign, the Beacons won 10 matches by scores of 7-2 or better, including 6 9-0 victories. The top 6 singles players finished the championship year with a combined record of 74 and 13 respectively, while the top 3 doubles teams posted a final mark of 65 and 7. Among the many highlights from that season was Oscar Jara's perfect 12-0 record at number 1 doubles, and Tom Savoy ended the year with a 16-0 record at number 2 singles and was 13-1 in doubles play. And Tom's daughter, Angelica, a 4-year-old, is right there. You heard her applaud when I mentioned his name. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome our inductees to the 2013 Hall of Fame, the UMass Boston men's tennis team, head coach Michael Bradley, Matthew Ash, David Booley, Kevin Countner, Tom Esper, Pat Finnegan, Oscar Jara, Jeff Kearns, Stephen Krause, Chris Lyons, Diane Pollard, Phil Robbins, Tom Savoy, and Robert Wright. Join us as you receive your recognition. Coach Bradley, how are you? Please.
It's an honor and a pleasure to accept these awards on behalf of my team. I thank you very much. And one of the things that they don't know is that we were ranked at number 8th in New England, Division III at that time. So I want to thank all the players that played for me, and this is a memorable experience for me. Thank you very much.
So, Brad, you want to take a picture? You've got him? Is that a good place right there? All right. Thank you. Once again, the 1990 men's tennis team from UMass Boston. Big round of applause, please. Chancellor Motley, join him for the picture. Craig Cullen from 1972 was a two-time team most valuable player in 71 and 72. He is considered one of the program's top two-way forwards. During his 4 seasons with the Warriors, Cullen was instrumental in leading Boston State to the 1969 and 1971 Codfish Bowl championships. For his efforts, he was named to the All-Tournament team in 1971, named an ECAC Player of the Week as a junior and senior, and he established himself as one of the most gifted student athletes to ever wear the green and gold. When not on the ice, Cullen was a 4-time Dean's List honoree, received the Boston State College Scholar Athlete Award at the end of his senior season, and on the ice, he closed out his junior campaign, ranked second on the team with 24 points, which he then surpassed as a senior with a combined 38 points in 1972. Defensively, he was solid. He was considered a top penalty killer, but when given the opportunity, was able to make things happen offensively. He finished with 81 total points, 35 goals, 46 assists in 66 games. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome our inductee to 2013 Hall of Fame, Craig Cullen.
Good evening. I'm truly honored here tonight to be inducted in the Hall of Fame, especially after growing up and learning how to play hockey in Southern California. That's something they didn't mention. I was introduced to hockey by a friend of our family's who was actually from the Boston area by the name of Art Guiney. Art would later on become instrumental in the development of Southern California hockey and getting West Coast players into East Coast prep schools and universities. In 1962, a rink was built in Burbank, and at that time there was probably 5 rinks in the entire LA area. Art asked me if I'd be interested in checking out the program, new youth program that they were starting up. They had about 40 kids, ages 8 to 14. Nobody had any experience. Nobody had any equipment. Most of us used rental skates. Our uniforms were Levi's and white sweatshirts. But every year it got a little better. More kids started playing, local sporting goods stores started carrying hockey equipment, and a couple more rinks were built. But when I came back to Boston, I couldn't believe how popular the sport was. I mean, every town had a rink. There was hockey in school, there was hockey after school, there were summer leagues, there were winter leagues. I mean, hockey was to New England like surfing and baseball was to Southern California. My first year at Boston State, I made the freshman team, but my sophomore year, I realized it was going to be tough. They had a solid varsity team and only a few spots open. I knew that if I didn't make the team, there was no JV team to fall back on. Basically, my hockey was over. I'll never forget the first day of tryouts. I really wanted to make a good first impression. I went and got my skates sharpened, got a new stick. I think I showed up at the rink an hour early. The first half of the practice, just skating, loosening up. And after about a half hour, out came the pucks. First drill we did was a one-on-one drill where the forwards line up in the corner, defensemen line up the blue line. The forward picks up the puck, skates up the ice, puts his best move on the defenseman, tries to get around and get a shot on the goalie. Well, as I'm standing in line in the corner, I'm counting how far back I am from the front of the line, and I'm checking the defenseman's line to see who's going to be my defenseman to go against. Just my luck. I drew Richie Craven, senior co-captain from Charlestown. All right, my turn comes up. I take off up the ice. Just as I get to Richie, I lose the puck in my skates. Something you never want to do in hockey, put your head down. He hits me with a hockey check. I thought I was going to land in the stands. I mean, it looked like a yard sale out there. I get up, I pick up my equipment, get back in line. So much for first impressions. But fortunately, the coach at Boston State, Eddie Berry, was the kind of guy that if you had a little ability and you worked hard, paid attention, and kept your hair trimmed, he'd give you a chance. And I ended up making the team, and little by little saw more and more ice time. Then Eddie started putting me in more critical situations like penalty kills, and him showing confidence in me gave me confidence in myself. This really helped to elevate my game and taught me a life lesson that I've used raising my kids and how I've been treated my employees over the years. Hockey it's a team sport, and I wouldn't be up here if it wasn't for the guys I played with. Every year, Boston State would have a solid bunch of guys, players that got along well both on and off the ice. In a lifetime, 4 years is a short length of time, but my 4 years at Boston State had a huge impact on my life. Thanks.
Thank you. Congratulations. Craig Cullen, class of 72. As Chancellor Motley mentioned, we are honoring the past, celebrating the present, and embracing the future tonight. As we do so tonight, and as I walked prior to the beginning of the program, got a chance to meet some of you in the stands. This next person I'm going to introduce from the class of '08 was seen as one of the greatest athletes in UMass history. She was known, and she is known, as the three-sport athlete in the history of UMass, was named to the UMass Boston Athletic Hall of Fame in 2013, is a member of the women's soccer, women's ice hockey, and softball programs. She remains one of the most influential female athletes in the history of UMass Boston athletics. For the women's soccer team, she was the first ever three-time Little East All-Conference selection, earning second-team honors in 2006, before being named a first-team selection in 2007, 2008. On the softball diamond, she was only the second player in the team history to be named a three-time All-Conference selection, earning a pair of second-team honors in 2005 and 2006, before being named a first-team honoree in 2007. On the ice, she still owns a share of the NCAA Division III record for most shorthanded goals in a single game with 2, and she also sits second all-time in career shorthanded goals with 4, and is tied for 5th in career games played with 102. While with the soccer team, she finished her career ranked 13th all-time in most appearances, having stepped onto the pitch in 68 of a possible 73 games played. And she also sits tied for 11th with 2 game winning goals, and is 12th in career points by a defense person with 24. To date, Wall sits in the top 10 in multiple categories as a member of the softball program. She is currently ranked 3rd with 42 career extra base hits and 27 doubles. She is 4th in triples with 10, slugging percentage with 576, stolen bases with 30. Wall also stands second all-time in stolen bases in a single season with 19, which she recorded in 2006. Her 34 runs scored in 2006, the 3rd most in a season. 2012, she returned to her alma mater and served as an assistant coach with the women's soccer program, which won its first ever Little East Conference regular season and tournament championship. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome our inductee in 2013, Catherine Wall. And if I can have her nephew, Jacob, come join me over here. Jacob, come over here. This is her 2-year-old nephew who proudly told me he was here because of her.
I would like to start off by congratulating everyone being inducted this year, especially my friend and my teammate, Belle. This is truly well-deserved, and I'm proud to be inducted alongside you. UMass Boston was like a second home to me for 4.5 years, especially the athletic center, which provided me my first job. Jacob, I don't have a lot of time. Which provided me my first job and a place to nap in between classes. I'll pause for laughter. Thank you. I have made friendships and bonds with more people here than I ever did growing up. I learned a lot about myself and matured, though very slowly, over my years as a student and athlete. I enjoyed my experience so much that I decided to come back and encourage and teach a new generation of women athletes as an assistant soccer coach. I am proud to say that while I was in that role, the women's team became the first Little East Conference champions in UMass history.
I want juice. I want juice. I want juice.
Okay. Just like when I was a student, my team became my family, which is what is so truly great about playing sports at UMass Boston. Being not only a student athlete, but a three-sport athlete has made me a fierce competitor and gave me the strength to battle and overcome my toughest challenge, cancer. I could not have accomplished so much without the help and support of my family, friends, coaches, and teammates. These influential people in my life have helped shape me into the person I've become, whether it be pushing me to do better, helping me succeed in school, giving me a much-needed laugh, or giving support throughout the struggles I have faced. So many people have been there for me. Without these people, I wouldn't be standing here today, so thank you. Mom, Dad, my sisters Becca and Mary, my nephew Jacob, my grandmother Bubbles, my aunts and uncles Debbie, Denise, Chuck, Robert and Adris, Sharon and Franny, Susan and Fred, Uncle Bill, Aunt Bev, Cindy, Steve, Zombek, Cheryl, Mara, Charlie Titus, Alan Wickstrom, my friends Kristen, Randy, Shirley, Mary Kane, and all my teammates and players over the years. You have guided, inspired, and influenced me in so many ways and ultimately helped me understand the strength I have to become a cancer survivor and to participate in this great honor. For that, I am truly grateful. Thank you.
Catherine Wall, ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause, please. Woo! So, in the words of Chancellor Motley, we're here honoring the past, celebrating the present, embracing the future. And with Catherine, we have all of that, and we are so honored that you are part of the 2013 class of the Hall of Fame. And I'm sure Jacob, as he grows up, will remember this day as the day that he participated in the baton going to him for his future. So thank you. Congratulations.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you. Bruce, is it Lehane? I got it right? All right. I'll dance to that. Bruce Lehane is one of the most impressive runners to ever compete for the Warriors in both cross country and track and field. Class of 1970, he ended his college career with a combined 20 varsity letters. The career record holder at Boston State in the 880 meter and the mile run. He earned his All-American honors in the 1969-1970 outdoor seasons. While with the cross-country program, he could always be found at the front of the pack and led the Warriors to multiple top finishes. On the track, his top events included 880 meter, 1,000 yard, and the mile run. He was also a member of the 2-mile and distance medley relay teams, and to date, he serves as the head men's and women's cross-country coach at Boston University. Yes, big round of applause for that. Since 1982, he has coached 37 Division All-American and 24 IC4A, ECAC individual champions. Amongst the countless athletes he has coached include Olympians Kathy O'Brien and Rosemary Ryan. During his tenure with the men's cross-country team, he has competed in 10 NCAA championships, which include 3 top 10 finalists and finishes. And the women's cross-country team has grabbed 15 out of the 19 conference championships under his tutelage. He would later graduate from UMass Lowell with his master's degree in reading and language. Ladies and gentlemen, 2013 inductee to the Hall of Fame, Bruce Lehane.
Thank you very much for that kind introduction. It's a great thrill for me to be here tonight to receive an illustrious award such as this. And one way I want to try to reciprocate for this honor is to impart to you tonight the key to a life of happiness and joy. Probably when you sat down on these bleachers, you weren't expecting that, you know. You probably weren't thinking you would get the key to a life of happiness and joy, but before I do that, let me thank the people who work behind the scenes to put this event on. I know an awful lot of things have to happen, and it's a wonderful night. It's been greatly entertaining, to say the least, and it's such a privilege to be here with everybody here. I want to extend a special thank you as well to the administrators of UMass Boston. You know, I'm a graduate of Boston State College, and when those doors closed in the world of college and universities, you felt just a little bit like an orphan might feel. And so extending their arms to us and their hands in friendship and kinship and welcoming us here, I'm saying that wrong, it feels very good. And it feels like, you know, you're taking us in. And from this night on, I will feel an allegiance to UMass Boston. And I'm beginning to get an understanding of what's going on here. And I think it's fabulous, a fabulous development for the city and for the young people growing up for an alternative to come to this great school. Like Boston State College, it's a life-altering event. I come from South Boston. When I received this award, I was thinking, you know, you begin to reflect, well, what were the influences? And as I thought of it, I thought of the school teachers I had, even as early as first grade, second grade, third grade, and they were fabulous. And they, not only in terms of education, but in terms of guidance and support, which they gave us. And when I went to Boston State College, I received a wonderful education, but there was a degree of caring there that was kind of special. And I'm feeling some of that here tonight. And I think that's what makes a university great. And that's what reaches into people. The fellow recipients, I'm sure, all feel the same way. That's what reaches into you, and it grabs your imagination and your heart and makes you dig down. While at Boston State, I had, you know, a lot of great teammates. We were great friends. We trained hard. We competed hard. Some of them probably more deserving to receive this award than myself. I also had the life-altering experience of meeting, running for, and learning from one of the greatest coaches in America, if not the world. Well, I'll say the world. His name is Bill Squires. What I learned from him, to the extent I can, there's only one Bill Squires, there won't be another one. I've taken those lessons and tried to apply them to the athletes I work with. It served me very well over 32 years in counting at Boston University. So I received really a fabulous education, a deeply enriching experience, and really the keys to a livelihood that has followed me throughout life. So, back to the secret of life. The secret of life and happiness and joy. It comes down to really one thing. It's called giving. When I think of what I've received a value in life, it always because it's something someone gave to me. The caring, the knowledge, the support. And when I think of anything I feel with pride that I've accomplished, it was because I gave. And it's in the giving to one another
that we really find joy and happiness. And it's the most meaningful thing. And again, let me say that I'm feeling this here tonight, and I think that's just sensational. So once again, there is another key. In Boston, finding a good parking spot is also important. I'm thrilled with this award. Congratulations to the other recipients. I'm very much honored to be counted and seen here with you tonight. Thank you very much.
All right. Bruce Lehane. Our next inductee was named a Colonial League All-Star in his senior season. Dan Hayes, class of '79, led Boston State to 3 Colonial League titles and 3 ECAC championship tournament appearances, 1976, 77, and 78. Named a co-captain in 1978, he was selected for the All-New England East-West All-Star Game and at the end of his senior campaign. By the end of his college career, he was ranked 4th all-time in program history amongst midfielders in points with 63, 43 goals, 20 assists. He would also lead Boston State 3rd all-time in goals scored by a midfielder in a single season with 19. A defensive specialist, he was the go-to player in the Warriors' penalty kill all 4 seasons. Following his graduation from Boston State, he stayed involved with the program by establishing the Boston State College UMass Boston Lacrosse Alumni Association in 1980, while also serving as assistant coach. He later earned his master's degree in education from Cambridge College. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome our next 2013 Hall of Fame inductee, Daniel Hayes.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Wow, what happened? My cousin said, Dan, in that picture you look like Kevin Weeks, Whitey Bulger's hitman. Thanks, Bill. Well, what can I say? Being up here is incredible, and I just want to congratulate my fellow members of this year's Hall of Fame induction class. You'll discover, as I did, that they all have amazing athletic backgrounds, and they all possess extremely interesting accomplishments both on and off the field. I must also like to recognize and thank Chancellor Motley, of course, Charlie Titus, the athletic director, Jose, for together elevating this event to its current prestigious level. I go to a lot of these, and this was one of the first, and I thank them for doing it. I also would like to single out a few individuals that I must personally thank involved around the campus. Jimmy Collins, Joel Bryant, Dick Kelly, Dave Masterson, Ellen Noon, Cheryl Aaron, Miles Berry, Coach Tyler Lowe, and of course Hall of Famers Billy Rayfuse and Coach Gordon Webb. Without them, I certainly wouldn't be up here, so I thank you guys. Thank you. You should see it back here. There's about 20 speeches that are I'm resting mine on top of. But truly, I must say that when I received the call that I had been nominated to this Hall of Fame, I sat down. I thanked God, and then I thought to myself, I've always held this award in such high regard that I would never consider myself worthy of it, but I would forever be grateful to those who did. So to all of you who supported me and voted for me, thank you very much. I may not have been the best player to ever play at Boston State, but I think I loved it the most. I also want to address my parents who are deceased, Margaret and William Hayes. It was truly a privilege to be born unto you, and I thank from the bottom of my heart that I was entrusted to your care. Next to my family members, Pauline and Billy and Rick and Gary and Margaret and Steve, thank you for being there for all my life. To my large circle of relatives and family friends that have traveled such long ways, some have come from Phoenix, New Orleans, Maine, New York, Florida, and I want to thank you there for being with me through all my life also. To my extended lacrosse family from Boston State, UMass Boston, Burlington, Bedford, and of course Peabody, thank you so much. You've all been a blessing to me. And specifically, I'd like to say thank you and congratulations to all my lacrosse teammates. Many of them are up here today. What can I say? The ride was incredible. It wasn't just the championships. It wasn't just all the wins, but the camaraderie and the fun we had doing it. The nicknames alone will explain what we had together. We had such glorious titles as Tiny, Mary, Rafe, and the Geek. We had the Bird, the Bee, and the Iceman. We had Angel, Death, and Balloon Head. Let us not forget Shamu, the Killer Whale, and my all-time personal favorite, Steinway, the Piano Man. You see, every day on our team was a hate crime, and we loved it. No one had to teach us about diversity. We lived it in every way. This is the point where I may break down because I'm going to talk about three people. To my college lacrosse coach, Gordon Webb, when I arrived at Boston State, I was a lost and confused young man, and you gave me a chance. My experience with you profoundly changed my life. And I can say it was an honor to be your player, captain, and of course, later your assistant coach. It was great that God let me borrow you for 6 years. Gordy knows a lot about theology, so I'll put it in a theological term. For you, Coach, it says in theology that if you save a life, you are saved. So surely you are saved for saving me. Next. I don't know where he is because you can't see a damn thing up here, but I think I got him over here. Thanks, Coach. To my line mates, Bussy Adams and Arthur Murphy, oh, how I would have wallowed in mediocrity had I not been assigned to your greatness. Together, we became one single dominant force. Some have said we are the greatest line in the history of Boston State and UMass Boston. I don't know, but I'll let opinion of a few others to help move the argument along. Gene Uchez, head lacrosse coach, Boston College, after we defeated them 10-8, said the line of Adams, Murphy, and Hayes is the best line in New England, Division I, II, and III. Secondly, Springfield College captain Ricky Terrell, who I played lacrosse with in high school, after we defeated them, where Arthur scored 5 goals, Bussy had 3 goals and 3 assists, and I think I had 3 goals. At the end of the game, Rick crossed the field and said, "I've never seen a line put such a devastating attack on us. You guys were unstoppable." And finally, head coach Rick McCarthy, undefeated Babson College. Well, they were undefeated until we played them and they lost 6-5. And Rick paid our line the greatest compliment. A year later at a coaching clinic, I was introduced to him. And you know what he said? "Oh, I know you, Dan Hayes. You and your 2 line mates wrecked my life." Best compliment we ever received. I wouldn't be here without my 2 line mates, so I'll speak quickly on them. Bussy Adams is simply the greatest offensive player I ever played with. Your ability to move the ball through time and space is an unbelievable gift. I benefited so often from some of your precision passings. They arrive like lightning through a forest of sticks, behind helmets, under arms. If you're not ready, they're coming, and you better be. And all you have is but time to shoot. And I thank him from the bottom of my heart. He was a fiery competitor, and he also worked incredibly hard to improve his defense. He was magical to play with, and I was the recipient of all your talents. Bussy, thank you so much, and I do miss your mother. Thank you. To Arthur Murphy, Arthur doesn't have a single lacrosse gift. He simply has them all. You see, Arthur's the best transitional midfielder I've ever seen. His talents are incredible. His reaction time and anticipation is simply unreal. He terrorized the other opponents, and he was always assigned to cover the other team's top offensive midfielder. His offensive stats are pretty high, but they were underrated, not overrated. Underrated because of the task that he had to carry out. He was absolutely fearless on ground balls, and I always knew that he would get me the ball, and he did. Now, I have a couple of records because of them, and one was a first midfielder to score 5 goals in a game, and they assisted on them all. I also have the most game balls in history, mostly because of them. So I really have to thank those two. And the next part, well, Arthur, forgive me for saying this, but it's time we recognize your enormous courage. In the New England All-Star game, our final game together, Arthur was hit by by a devastating, illegal, cheap shot check. And he went to the hospital, and we went, and they said, go home and pray that he lives. And we did. And a miracle occurred. He did live. And he went on and learned how to walk and talk and grow. And you know what? The next year, he returned to the exact same college where he was hurt to play in the summer league with Bussy and I. Now, we got out there, and he struggled, but he never quit. And a year later, a miracle occurred. He returned again, and this time, he was back. He terrorized the other team for the whole summer. All his skills returned, and when he scored his first goal, we partied like it was 1999. To Arthur, you went on to be married, have a wonderful house, 2 beautiful daughters, and a terrible dog. And I must say that without you, we wouldn't have had some of those championships. And your play makes you worthy to be a Hall of Famer up here, but your life should be made into a movie. Arthur, thank you and congratulations. Not too much longer, Jose. Okay, Tom Ferraro. When the great John Yeager left, he was the greatest goalie in New England, and Tom Ferraro came in. And we thought John Yeager was irreplaceable, but we were wrong. Tom made the transition a seamless one. He was incredible. Some weeks we'd look at the stats and he'd be leading the nation, Division I, II, and III in save percentage. And he did it all with really bad knees. He couldn't run very well, but he learned to pass, became the best passing goalie, I think, in New England during that time. But Tom has one character weakness. He is insanely jealous of my game balls. He keeps telling me that at least 3 of them belong to him. Tom, the truth is, I think they really do belong to you. So thank you, Tom, for winning those games. Okay, and finally, this university. You know, I drove here tonight, and I come in through the Columbia projects. And this university is pretty impressive, what they're doing. They allow people to come in the front door, the side door, the back door of society and leave with a great opportunity. So I really do encourage people to support it. When I first came here, the atmosphere of the people was just like Boston State. They were very, very good at what they did and a little crazy. And so I really want to say something special about this place, and I think I can end it this way. I was born into the Mystic River housing projects in Somerville. And then I went to Boston State, and there it was surrounded by the Mission Hill housing projects in Roxbury and the Ruggles Street housing projects. And this university was surrounded by the Columbia Point housing projects. You see, we're all a project. We're all a project, and you need help from some place and some institutions. And you know what? Tonight, I've gone from the projects to paradise. So thank you very much.
All right. Daniel Hayes, ladies and gentlemen. So we are 2 away from concluding the night, but I must say that every time I do this, it's a memorable night because the stories that are shared, the moments that are relived, the sense of community and family that celebrate, the camaraderie that is very much part of the world of sports as a fan, as someone in the stands, or as someone participating. Melissa Belmonte is a member of the first 4 women's ice hockey teams at UMass Boston, and she finished her career second all-time in career points with 157, 76 goals, 81 assists. It is one of the only 4 members of the 100-point club. Named a 2-time USCHO.com preseason All-American, she was an ECAC East Second Team All-Conference selection in 2007. She also grabbed All-Rookie Team and Honorable Mention All-Conference honors in 2004. She sits tied for first for most games played in program history, appearing in all 103 games that took place during her 4 years at UMass Boston. Her 76 career goals sit second most all-time behind 2013 Hall of Famer classmate Andrea Charletta from the class of 2007. Her 81 career assists stand as the all-time Beacons high mark, while her 7 careers hat tricks and 18 multi-point games are second most. She currently owns the program mark for career multi-point games with 46 and sits third in school history with 17 career power play goals and 8 game winners. She ranks second in points scored in single season by a freshman with 53, fourth in points by a senior with 44, fifth in points by a junior with 40. She currently holds the program mark for power play goals in a season with 7 and is tied for first in single season hat tricks with 4. Her 25 assists as both a freshman and a junior is tied for third most. She also stands as the program leader at most points recorded in a single game with 6, which she reached on 2 occasions. She also owns the record for most goals in a game with 4, which she also recorded in 2 different contests. From UMass Boston, class of 2011, will you please welcome our inductee for the class of 2013 Hall of Fame, Melissa Belmonte.
Thank you. I would like to thank the election committee for this amazing honor and congratulate all the inductees here tonight. I could talk for hours about what this university means to me and how the athletics program has truly changed my life, but we don't have all evening. In fact, I was only asked to speak for about 2 minutes, which is hard because I'm such a talker. There are way too many people to thank for helping me get to this point. So in an effort to not leave anyone out, I would just like to thank all of those people from South Boston Youth Hockey, Fontbonne Academy, and all of my UMB family for not only nurturing my hockey ability, but also for being there for me and helping me become the player I was and the person that I am today. There were countless coaches, teachers, professors, staff, and mentors that made a strong impact in my life, and I am eternally grateful to all of these individuals. I want to thank all of my teammates who are like family to me. It was a pleasure sharing the locker room with such an amazing group of athletes and people. I have met so many incredible people here and cherish all of my friendships I have made. I currently have the pleasure of coaching at Medfield High with standout alums Molly Norton and Lauren Duran, who I love dearly and hope they have the opportunity one day to stand where I am today. Molly started this program with the club team and molded the program into what it is today. And Lauren continued to add to this great tradition, even being a part of the team that finally beat Manhattanville. They were great athletes that share the love of their school and hope for the success of this program. Another player who shares this love is fellow inductee Catherine Wall. Wally and I were lucky enough to be teammates, and in fact, she is the main character and my favorite playing memory. My favorite things in hockey are unselfish wraparound goals, as well as staying out of the penalty box. I was not only so excited when I scored a wraparound, but I was even more proud that I only received a few penalties in my whole career, which were of course unintentional. We were away at Salve, and we got a bench penalty, so coach asked me to kill the penalty. So of course I said, sure coach, and jumped right in, even though I despise penalties. As I watched the play unravel from behind the 6 feet glass case of emotion, I saw Wally poke check their rush and take the puck behind the net and score a shorthanded wraparound. It was arguably the most beautiful play in Beacon's history, and I was stuck in the penalty box. So naturally, I still celebrated because everyone knew how obsessed with wraparounds I was, and to get one shorthanded is near impossible, never mind 2 in a game. I was losing it in there, celebrating by myself, and not only with my team, so I tried to scale the glass until the ref threatened to give me another 2 minutes, so of course I had to calm down. It was such a perfect play, and I was so proud of Wally for that snipe, and she even skated over to me in the box and started slamming on the glass. There were so many amazing games and plays, but that one still remains my favorite, and I am so happy to be here with her today sharing the stage. I would like to thank my family and friends who are here supporting me tonight, even on their birthday, happy birthday Judy, or when they have 3 kids of their own, Auntie Wanda and Uncle Raji, who still manage to come to all of my games. All of you have been there for me, and I couldn't ask for a more loving and supportive family and friends. I was lucky enough to grow up with cousins that were like brothers to me, that taught me to be tough and determined and to be a fierce competitor. I was even lucky enough to share many jerseys with one cousin, Eric, who always looked out for me when I was playing on all the boys' teams with him. I want to thank my brother Ricky, for which my love of the game truly stemmed from. I looked up to my brother and learned so much about the game from him. He was an incredible athlete, and if it weren't for him being a 100-point scorer at Boston Latin or playing at Framingham State, I might not have tried to be as good as he was. Lastly, and most importantly, I would like to thank my parents. My father, Richie, who is here tonight, and my mother, Sally, who is here with us tonight in spirit. My father is a retired iron worker and worked on UMB, so I literally wouldn't have been able to play here if it wasn't for hardworking men like him who make it possible to have such a great facility. People don't often get the opportunity to thank their parents for everything they have done for them, so I am truly grateful to be able to share this night with them. There were a lot of early mornings, long trips, and of course money that went into my hockey career. My parents always made it work and were always very supportive. When my mother passed away my sophomore season, it was hard to get back onto the ice without my #1 fan there. But then I just thought about all the games that my father was at one side of the rink doing his giant whistle, telling me to crash the net, and my mother at the other end, smiling, waiting to tell me that I had the best game of my life, even if it was my worst. So I had no choice but to make her happy and get back out there and finish my career and play my heart out. My mom was the Beacon's true superfan and made all kinds of scrapbooks and mementos that I will cherish forever. My parents will never know how much it means to me, all the sacrifices they had to make for my brother and I to have an incredible childhood we had, and the ability to share the love of the game. I dedicate this honor to them tonight. UMass to me is more than just a college degree and a hockey career, but it is incredible memories that I will never forget with people that I love. I will always, forever, bleed Beacon blue. Thank you.
Our last inductee for the class of 2013 Hall of Fame, Sports Hall of Fame, is the all-time career and single-season leader in strikeouts with 234 and 82. Nicholas Conway becomes the first player during head coach Brendan Egerbroth's tenure to be named as a Hall of Fame inductee. As a freshman, when Egerbroth took over the baseball program, Conway was instrumental in leading the Beacons to 4 consecutive Little East Conference tournament appearances, which was a program first. He was named the 2006-2008 Little East Conference Pitcher of the Year. He also grabbed 2008 LEC First Team All-Conference honors. And on top of holding the career and single-season mark for strikeouts, he also stands as the program's all-time leader in innings pitched in a career with 245. His 86.0 innings of work, which he recorded in 2006, still remains the single-season best at UMass Boston. He also stands second all-time in career wins with 14, and his third all-time in career appearances with 45, and earned run average with 3.49. His 15 and 12 Ks in single games still stand as the second and fourth most all-time respectively. He's not here with us tonight. We have a video that we will share with you with his thoughts and comments, and then I'm going to ask his grandfather, Albert Savastano, to please come and accept the award on his behalf. Ladies and gentlemen, 2013 inductee Nicholas Conway.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sorry that I couldn't make it tonight, but I would like to thank you all for the opportunity to address you via a tape video. Congratulations to all of the inductees. It is an honor to be part of this with all of you. I'd like to start by thanking Charlie Titus, Terry Condon, the athletic department staff, my former teammates, and most importantly, my coaching staff. I also want to thank the families and friends that came out throughout the years to support us. None of this would be possible if it wasn't for you. I wish I could be there to receive this award. Words can't express how thankful I really am. Once again, congratulations to the inductees. You all deserve it. Thank you.
I want to thank you on behalf of Dick for honoring him tonight with this award and inducting him into the Hall of Fame. I thank you very much, and I accept this on behalf of Nick.
Before you leave, he's in uniform. Where is he serving?
Army.
Where?
He's in Georgia right now at OCS.
All right. Yep. Thank you for his service. All right. Thank you. Thank you for that. Before I have the Vice Chancellor say a few words in closing, let me just share a few words, and then let us again make sure that our inductees are recognized in the way that they deserve from all of us. You know, as I was listening to our friend Albert speak as being as a grandfather, and we mentioned birthday. Today's my youngest daughter's birthday, and when I leave here, we'll be going to the house where everybody's gathered to celebrate. And as many of you, and Walter, you can relate to this with me, every day we realize we're closer to the end than we are to the beginning of our journey. And when we wake up in the morning, I know many of you share this with me, I wake up thankful for just being able to get up and do the things we need to do to start our day, and that we're able to do it in a healthy manner. And I know that, like many of you, we share the fact that we take a moment to not only thank for our blessings, but also to think what it is that we want to do that day. In my case, I meditate for a while, and I ask that whatever I do, say, think, and feel for that day, whatever I do, say, think, and feel for that day, I ask that it be in sync. I ask that I have the opportunity to be with other men and women, regardless of age, regardless where they come from, regardless of profession, to make a difference in the lives of future generations like Jacob and Angelica, so that they can be healthy. And when I say healthy, not only physically healthy, mentally, emotionally, socially, intellectually, financially, and spiritually healthy. And I ask, as I finish my meditation and prayers, I say, whatever happiness I experience today, please make it that it's not a result of somebody else's misery. Whatever happiness I experience today, please make it that it's not the result of somebody else's misery. I share these words with you because tonight, all of us who have taken a moment out of our precious moments of life to gather as family, friends, and community to celebrate and to honor all who deserve honoring, to do so in a way that will be memorable, to do so in a way that also lets us know that the future is bright because of the men and women that we have honored today, and also those that we have honored in the past who are in the stands. And to celebrate knowing that an institution such as this one, a beacon of hope for the future, is making it possible of transforming the lives of men and women, young and old, so that they can contribute the same way that all of these illustrious people have done so in our society. So I share these words because, ladies and gentlemen, a night tonight is a night to celebrate. So as I celebrate my daughter's birthday, and I know somebody else has a birthday that's being celebrated tonight, this is a birthday worth celebrating. Tonight's 2013 Sports Hall of Fame. Please welcome again, with a big round of applause, all who were inducted. And Chancellor, you got it.
Jose, thank you once again for another stellar performance this year. Can I get a hand for Jose Marceau, please?
Thank you.
Outstanding MC. I'm so proud of all of you, Catherine, Melissa, Dan, Coach, as I listened to you all, and I thought back over the years that I've been here and watching all of you perform, the support that you continue to give us. I was going to tell you a big Catherine Wall story tonight, but I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to save that for another time, Catherine. You know which one I'm talking about? Yes, you do. I also want to thank Garen Veras. Garen joined us. He's a fairly new employee, and he came on as Director of External Business Affairs, which is a nice way to say he's responsible for raising dollars for us. And we assigned Garen the Hall of Fame. So this is his first year with the responsibility for doing the Hall of Fame, in a year where we made a lot of changes. And I think he did a terrific job, so please, a hand for Garen. Appreciate it. One of our staff who works very hard at a lot of this, and I think most of you, if you've been associated with this Hall of Fame in any form over the last 4 years, have gotten to know her, and that's Ellen Noon. Thank you for the work that you do, Ellen. Appreciate it. We have the greatest photographer in the history of university photography, Harry Brett. And finally, one more time to our chancellor, who has brought to this campus an unbelievable energy, a wonderful vision. You can see that being executed as you ride around this campus, in a commitment to make sure that athletics holds an appropriate place in this institution. You know, in a lot of places, the first thing that gets cut is sports. The first thing that you see go on the back burner is sports, it's athletics. We understand the role that the athletic program plays here, and it's to be supportive of the main mission of the institution, which is, of course, education. And so we fit into that role, and we play that role as well as we can, and we do it because we get great leadership and support from Dr. Motley. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. We have some dessert for you outside. Thank you for being here tonight. I look forward to seeing you all here again next year. Thank you.